This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. So actually this video started in quite a different manner to what it's ended up being. Now you may or may not have noticed that, particularly on this channel, and particularly in my real life, which this channel tends to reflect, I tend to play guitars with a maple board. That's not what I meant to say, was it? A rosewood board is what I was looking for. Now, the guitar that you saw in that introduction there comes from Rose Morris. My buddy Mike at Rose Morris has, over the last couple of years, sent me down the occasional Tokai to try out, and I've been really impressed with them in the main. And I feel like these Japanese-made Tokais are a bit of a well-kept secret, I think, because they make fantastic quality guitars and the finishing on them is top-notch. But when he sent that guitar through, It was sat in the box for quite a while, and then I opened the box, I picked it up and played it for that introduction, and I wasn't necessarily jiving with the guitar hugely. Now that then brought me on to the kind of topic of the video, because I didn't want to just do a video with a telly that I wasn't really jiving with and talk about anything particularly, because I felt like it would be a bit disingenuous. I also didn't want to like rag on the telly because I didn't have a particularly good reason for why I didn't like it. Anyway, you can use the code John Tokai if you want to get 10% off of any of Rose Morris's Tokai guitars. And I have to say, as I say again, I'm not paid to make these videos, and he literally just sends me these down as a loaner. Hopefully it does something good for them. For me, I get to see some guitars that otherwise I'd either have to buy or, borrow from someone. And yeah, it has really helped, I think, for me to get a good sense of what Tokai guitars are like. At this price range, you'd be looking at something like a Fender Vintera. And lately they just brought out the Vintera 2. Now, David Beebe saw one of these on a stand in PMT and sent me a photo, and it looked like the action was really high. The fret job looked really dodgy. The Tokais don't have these kind of issues, so I think they're a really consistent, safe bet. But the topic of the video, Rosewood versus maple. So I said to Mike, I don't really like maple neck guitars, I think. And he said, oh, well, you should probably have told me. And I thought, yeah, he got a point there. Anyway, so what I think it is, the thing that I've found generally is that, and this might be in my mind, and let me know if you think it is all in my mind, or let me know if you found something similar, or let me know if you're a maple board chap who really doesn't get on with the Rosewood stuff. I feel in my hands a finished maple board tends to feel a little bit gummy, a little bit sticky in a way that the Rosewood just doesn't. And I don't know why that might be, but of course the Rosewood is a more open pore wood, and I don't think has a finish on it. And for some reason, although there's not tons of contact with this front side of the fretboard, I feel like it makes enough of a difference to me that I feel like I'm getting sort of impeded by the finish a little bit. I know this to be the case because examples like the Fender Road-worn stuff or the Fender Custom Shop stuff, where the maple finish is really nicely worn through or, artificially relicked, I don't have that issue with those at all. In fact, those feel just as comfortable as a Rosewood fretboard to me. And also, I used to have a Music Man Silhouette, which has, the maple, which is kind of untreated. I found those feel really nice in the hand. And also, the kind of more recent craze of the roasted maple, that stuff, which doesn't have, it has like a satin finish. That stuff to me feels really good in the hand as well. So maybe what it is a glossy maple finish on both sides is the thing that is getting in the way, because it doesn't seem like there's loads of contact. I guess where you get quite a lot of contact, especially looking at the wear patterns on my K-line, are like here on the edges, so there definitely would be a bit of contact where you would notice potentially that there was maple versus Rosewood, potentially, because... And the only real difference between this guitar and the other one is the Rosewood fretboard. The pickups are the same. I think the tonal differences, to me, I think there are probably other factors which make a far larger difference, like pickup heights, pickup types. So it's really difficult, I think, to get any sense of what a maple fretboard would sound like versus a Rosewood fretboard. And I think there are things that you can read online about that stuff, but I don't think there are many actual sort of empirical tests on that. Had I known that I was going to make this video, I could have tried to do something in that regard. But for me, it's definitely not a tonal thing that I'm noticing. It's definitely just a feel thing. And I feel like on a Rosewood fretboard, I'm able to get about a bit more nimbly. And that's why Rosewood is better for me. And so then when this arrived a couple of days ago, I plugged it in and sort of was playing around and just found it super comfortable in comparison. This has a 7.25 inch radius, kind of classic style. I think they started using Rosewood Fender, by the way, in the late 1950s, so 1959, and I think the idea came along with this double bound body as well, kind of in a happy coincidence, and the idea was to kind of compete with Gibson. So that was the reason for it, apparently. Just because I guess it looks a certain way. I guess that's exactly the reason for the double band body as well, right? But yeah, those are just kind of my feelings on maple versus rosewood. I'd like to know your thoughts if you've got any. Tonally, I don't myself sense too much of a difference, but feel-wise in the hand, in my left hand, obviously, that's where I'm noticing that there is stuff going on. But for me, it's all about just the feel, and you get a bit less drag on a rosewood board is what I'm thinking. I grew up playing, Ibanez's with rosewood boards, and massive kind of open pore fretboards. Maybe that's why I have this preference. Let me know your thoughts. Cheers.